Behind the Visor. You guys have probably seen a little bit of the teasing, but hey, let's just get it started right now. Let's show people that we mean business. And by business, we mean, got our cowboy hats on, getting right into it. All right, well, y'all see the cowboy hats. Me and Luca had to break them out. It's our next episode. Obviously, we're talking about the Calgary game week 1 and the Saskatchewan game week 2. So we thought, what better fashion than to bring in one of the top quarterbacks in the league, Vernon Adams Jr. Wear our cowboy hats because obviously, he's over there in Cowtown playing for the Stamps. But VA, what's up, my man? Thanks for hopping in today and joining us.
Man, appreciate it. Y'all boys look good, man. I know somebody a free agent too. Yeah, you look good in the cowboy hat.
Are you recruiting? Is this tampering already?
Man. No. I'm just I'm just giving compliments. That's it.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I know. We kind of wanted to get into it, like before we get into officially like that week 1 game, kind of us versus y'all this past season. Like, yeah. What was it like for you, kind of going through what you went through in BC, and then going to Calgary? Because like I know from our end, like from a player end, like we just see the headlines. Obviously, sometimes we text each other, but we know you probably got 1,000 texts during that time. But like, just take us through like kind of going through that process like mentally, and then just like how you were able to flip it so quickly to have the success that you had this last season.
Yeah, man. So I mean, how much time we got? Like,
hey, we got as much time as you need, man. This is your story.
Okay, I'm gonna be as brief and quick as possible. It was an interesting situation over there in BC. Remind you, like, everywhere I played, man, I've appreciated my opportunity. I love everywhere I played. BC gave me a hell of an opportunity to come to Calgary now and be the guy here. So basically, after my 2023 season, I had the best season of my career. 4,800 yards passing, 30-something touchdowns. I don't know, my best season. So going into that off season, it was my contract year. And BC didn't want to extend me, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm a 30-year-old quarterback, and I just had my best season. Why don't they want to extend me? Why do they want me to restructure and take less money? So now it already hit me in my head, like, Nate's coming back. He gonna come back at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, which is fine. I was like a rental for BC from 2022 to 2024. I came in there, I kept him in the playoffs all 3 years, and held that team down for Nate to do his thing and keep him going as he's doing. You know what I'm saying? As everybody knew he was going to do. But basically, like I said, I knew he was going to come back. So basically, got into contract talks, and I told him, okay, listen, can I be the highest paid, or I want to be the highest paid quarterback this year, or extend me for 3 years with guarantees in my 3rd year. I knew they wasn't going to do the first option.
Yeah.
So they did the second one, knowing that they was going to trade me the next year if Nate came back. So anyways, fast forward to August, boom, I get hurt. We're 5-2. I get hurt. Nate comes back. Boom. We end up going to the playoffs. We finished 9-9 that season. And boom, I leave. Toughest goodbye of my career, because I started off in 2024, started off playing pretty good, and then, Nate comes back and it's his team again, you know what I'm saying? Which is, like I said, it's understandable. It's business. That's how things go sometimes. But for me, honestly, bro, like, to say all that, I was just so appreciative of the opportunity. Like I said, now I'm over here in Calgary. I come over here. We go from, I think they had 4 or 5 wins in 2024 to 11 wins. You know what I'm saying? To 11 wins this year and back to the playoffs. And not to say that was all me at all, man. We had Dave, Brendan Mahoney, Cole Huffnagel, man, those guys upstairs, and the rest of the staff, man, they did such a good job in bringing a good mix of guys, man. We had the OGs from Renee and Crawford, and some great vets like Flo and Webb and Moncrief coming over to the defense and to mold that defense together with a good mix of young guys as well. And then on offense, you bring in Dominique Grimes, myself, you got Reggie there already. Phil Pott has been there for 4 or 5 years, so they know the offense, So they did a good job bringing a good mix of guys. I think my part in all of this was my energy. I always came in with good energy. Anybody who knows me knows I always got good energy. And no matter what we're going through as players, and I know I'm rambling a lot,
No,
but
you're good,
no
man.
matter what we're going through as players off the field, because we're all going through stuff.
Right.
I pride myself in when I walk in through them doors at 5:30 in the morning, stays right there. Whatever I'm going through, it stays right there at the door. I come in and I bring my great energy and effort every single day until I leave at 6 p.m., 7, whatever time it is, So,
Right.
Yeah, bro, that's what it is.
Man, I think that's like the most important thing I think that people don't realize is like the mindset of like being a pro football player. Like all the stuff we go through, like it may seem like, and we can make it seem like everything's going really good, like especially with social media nowadays, like you only post your highlights, the best things you're doing, your best photos, your best walk-in, your best plays, like all that sort of stuff. So I think people can sometimes get the misconception that like everything's just always going so great for us, but like people always forget, like we are human too. Like as much as we make these like crazy like plays that we do, on TSN and all that stuff, like people forget that we go through normal stuff just like everyone else. And there's highs that are really high and there's lows that are really low. So yeah, I mean, like that's like hats off to you, but you've learned, I think that's the other thing is a lot of guys that don't make it this far or don't get to this level, like they don't have, I think, the mental fortitude or mental toughness or like centering of themselves where they can just be like, all right, whatever happens, like ebbs and flows, like I'm always staying like flatline the whole time, like can't get too high, can't get too low. I know that's a common cliche, but man, like we've seen you do it at like literally every single level. I think this is like a funny story for me is like back in 2016, like my sister's having a baby, and you won't know anything about this other than the fact that you were playing a game this day. It's I think it was December 31st, 2016 or 2015, because my sister is having a baby on January 1st. And like I'm watching, I think it's Oregon versus, is it Kansas State in that bowl game?
TCU. Yep.
TCU. And like I'm watching that game and I'm watching you play there, and obviously like you're one of the bigger names in college football at that time, and I'm just like, man, like this is awesome. And then to fast forward it to like today, and like we're playing against each other, like obviously have the battles going back and forth, like it's just like the football world is.
And he picked me off in the first game 3 times.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. But like just what like that aspect right there of like everything you've been through, you've always risen back to the highest level of what you're doing, and that I think that's a testament to obviously like your faith, your mental fortitude, the work ethic you got, and I think that's just an awesome thing to again like to see what you went through last year and then just have a total like huge season this year was good to see, man. Good to see.
Nah, facts, bro. First of all, appreciate that, man. But it's facts, man. You have to be mentally strong in this game, man. Especially if you've had the journey that I've had, where you're traded or cut, and but for me, bro, like just where I'm from, like I didn't grow up like dirt poor or nothing, but I didn't have it all either, And so like nobody in my family, like, made it. I was the first one to go to college. I was the first one scholarship, first one to graduate, first one play professional, and I'm doing it going on year 11 next year, you know what I'm saying? So my family had never even been outside of California or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, so when I got to Oregon, I got to bring them to these different states and bring them to these big schools. And then I got to Canada. They would never thought they would come to Canada ever. You know what I'm saying? They didn't came to Montreal, spoke a little French, they ain't been to Calgary, like everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's the journey. So like I do get cut, I do get traded, but it's never like I'm down because I'm thankful, bro. Like to see my mom and my dad just smiles on their faces when I get a win in the stadium. I come to them like I was back in high school and I see them right there in the stadium. Like it's like the best feeling for me. So I don't never, get down on myself. You just gotta be mentally strong and honestly just be honest with yourself. You can't tell yourself you're overly good, or whatever. You can't tell yourself, man, I suck. Nah, bro, be honest with yourself. I ain't been working hard right here. I need to get right here. Boom, okay, let's even this out. And just stay focused, bro. That's for all your youngsters out there, man. So just listening.
Man, that's some real facts right there. Real knowledge for the young kids coming up on there. But I know we got into that story. I know Luca and I were talking kind of just about obviously the start of the season. And I know, Luke, you probably had a few questions you wanted to ask VA, so I'll let you take off there as well.
Yeah, so I worked with the Stampeders up until June, so I was kind of there. I was there 2022 to June, I guess. So obviously coming off of 2024, I think the feeling around the office was not the most optimistic, but obviously first overall pick. And then I remember being in the office when kind of that notification came across my phone that the Stamps are trading for Vernon Adams, and there was kind of more of a buzz. Obviously we had you come in. I don't know if you'll remember this, but we had you come in for that teaching Vernon Adams how to be a Calgarian, and I'll never forget. Jay McNeil trusted me to walk you from the locker room to the where we were shooting, and it was pure ice. And I walked out and almost immediately slipped. And I was like, I'm about to get fired if our franchise quarterback goes down and breaks
I
his
do
arm.
remember. Yep. That's funny.
But in that, like, just kind of, we brought you in for the schedule release. The Adams Jr. jerseys were in the store maybe within 48 hours of the trade. Going from in BC, where it was kind of a weird situation, as you mentioned, to Calgary, where you're now the guy, more or less, and it was kind of on you to recruit. And obviously you had guys like you mentioned, Dom Rhymes, the guys on defense, Damon Webb, Derek Moncrief, those guys. What is it like to go from BC, where, like you said, it was kind of it was Nate's team, for example, and then you're in Calgary, and now this is VA's team. How did you kind of shift from I need to be the best teammate in BC to, okay, this is my team in Calgary?
Yeah, man, that's kind of tough, just because, like, either way I look at it, whose team, they team, my team, I always want to be the best teammate, always. And I think most of the guys around the league who's played with me would tell you that. I really try to get to know guys on a personal level, about their families and things like that, and their careers. Try to do as much team bond and stuff, and you guys know that's important.
Yeah.
To bring a team close together. So I really care about my dudes, but like like when I was in BC, it was a weird dynamic, because like when I was like, it was tough. That was my team. And then Nate comes in and he's doing this thing, and the locker room, it's not like divided, but it's just like you hear little bickers here.
Oh man,
I can do as a pro, like all I can do, I'm in year 9 at this point. All I can do is, guys, there's nothing we can do right now. There's nothing we can do. So we just got to do what we got to do right now. We got to come together and find ways to win. And there was a little battle on that back end of the season, but we just had to find it. And so when I come over to Calgary, like I said, I knew I was coming in to change a culture, or get back to the winning culture. You know what I'm saying? So I brought my energy. I am who I am. I want to be a great teammate, and I just want to bring energy and make sure everybody's matching that. You know what I'm saying? Because if your quarterback's down, or if you got players down, some of your captains or leaders down, you got the young guys looking, okay, they're not going to be nonchalant or whatever. I'm not going to bring. But when you bring in energy, then that makes the start and safety bring the energy, and then the corner and the receiver bringing energy and one-on-ones, and then next thing you know, everybody competing, and then it's a great day for offense, defense, special teams, and you just put a great day together.
Yep. No, yeah, you need that. Like, especially when you come into practice, it's like if one of the main dudes, like, and not to say in like the wrong way of like, okay, one of the main dudes, like your top guys, if your top guys aren't coming in and like bringing that energy to practice, that trickles down so quickly to the rest of the team. Like, especially the guys who maybe this is their first time up in the CFL, like a lot of times, like they're just trying to like get in or fit in, essentially, right? Like that's the biggest thing. So like if guys are seeing like, oh man, like for us, it's like, oh, if Kenny isn't coming to practice hype, or Stavros isn't coming with that heat today, or Bo isn't, on it today, like he's not talking crap like he normally does in practice. Like people see that, and they start to be like, oh, like, yeah, complacency sets and all that. So yeah, like that's who I learned that from, and he's probably not one of the most favorite guys in league, but Simone Lawrence is one of the dudes that I learned it from.
I knew it. Yeah.
He would come to practice every day, like screaming, hollering, like no matter what that dude was going through, like he was on like volume 11 essentially once he came to practice. So like
You need
yeah,
that. Yeah.
you need that. And like you need guys that come out like screaming for practice, because sometimes people come and like it's just like, it's practice. And like some people would be like, man, like people would kill to be just to have that feeling of like coming to practice and like, you know, it being a drag, if you want to call it that. But like sometimes like that's just how it is. Like the game is difficult as it is, but man, like that. And I know the feeling that you got like locker room wise, because we kind of went through that similar thing back in like 21 with Masoli and Dane Evans, and I know two guys who you played with as well. And it's not like it's like causes a divide, like you said. It's just like people start to just say things that it's just like, okay, like, are we better with this guy? Are we better with that guy? And like as much as it's no hate against the person that's in there, but it's like whoever's winning for you, it's like, okay, yeah, it's like, okay, maybe this guy should be playing. And then that guy, as soon as that guy loses, it's like maybe he shouldn't be playing.
That's it. Yeah.
And you throw in all the as much as we say like we ignore the media stuff, you throw in the media stuff. Here in Hamilton too, like the community is real big into the team, so like you run into people that are like, oh, like this dude shouldn't be playing or that dude shouldn't be playing. It's like it's easy for that stuff to kind of trickle in, but yeah, you got to do your best to like obviously bring the locker room together and be like, man, whoever our guys are that are playing, like we got to support them, we got to put them first, because like at the end of the day, like we can all win, we can all be champions if we all do the right thing. But yeah, like with that being said, let's get into week one, man. It's week one. You know, obviously we're traveling out there. You know, whether some people say traveling is difficult or, you know, whatnot, like, yeah, I think for us, it's like a 4-hour flight out there, you know, going back a couple time zones. And then coming off, for us, I think we came off a shorter week, like with training camp and stuff like that. But, you know, like most of the guys don't even play in that final game. So, like, that really doesn't play into it as much as people think. But, yeah, coming out to Cowtown, getting ready for week one. I think before you get to the game, like what's the biggest thing going through your mind? Like, not having nightmares, because I'm not gonna say you have nightmares or things like that. But like, what's the biggest thing? Like going into the night before a game, you're like, man, like this is my nerve, or this is what I got to get right for tomorrow. So like, you know, I can't mess this up, or like, what's that for you, man?
I think each one is different. You know what I'm saying? Each one is different. Unless you're a big superstitious guy and you want to stay with whatever you do, you know. But I think that first one, it was like, I can't let Bo win. I can't let Bo win. That was it. And hey, trust me, I love Bo. Bo hosted me at Eastern Washington when I was coming to Eastern Washington. I ended up going to Eastern Washington because of him. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. That's a big bro. But I was just like, I don't think he's won here yet, and it can't be against me. Like, I just can't, you know. So that was just my biggest thing, and I knew he was coming. I think he was about to win 100.
Win 100, yeah. I think that was what they were talking about.
Yeah,
the 100th
it was supposed
win.
to be win 100. I'm like, I cannot let that happen. He came from here, and so that was it for that one.
Yeah, no, it was a weird game. Like, even, like, I know Luke and I were talking about this too, but, like, the way it started was, like, it was a back-and-forth kind of battle. Like, battle of the offenses, moving the ball, battle of the defenses, like, making big stops and stuff like that. But, you know, obviously we got to talk about that. What was it? I think it was the second quarter. And this is tough for you and tough for any quarterback. Like, we send a pressure. You're getting hit, you throw the ball. Like, what? You don't really know, like you're thinking probably in your head like either like the ball's like gonna hit the ground or like the receiver's gonna catch it. But like take us through like that play from like your perspective, so guys can just like understand a little bit more, and then I'll take you through like how I played it from my end.
Yeah. Okay. So we had the field strength to the left. You guys is right, and we had two goals on the outside and a 10-yard out that can convert to a 5-yard out if it's pressure. It's a built-in. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even be saying too much. Sorry.
I already know this stuff. So you don't have to feel like you're hiding stuff.
Football stuff, right? This is basic football stuff. Anyway, so we got that over there. Y'all bring the pressure to the right side. You know what I'm saying? But you know our back is to the left, so we're supposed to be getting out there. So I'm in my head. We picked up. You know what I'm saying? And this is not throwing nobody under the bus or nothing. We picked up. Boom, miscommunication. Okay, fine. We don't get it picked up. Boom, you're in the middle of the field. I think y'all playing like a 3 over to the field, I believe, because the halfback was low.
Yeah.
Expecting Reggie to tee up. Didn't get a tee up. Threw the seam late.
Yeah.
You can't do that, young quarterbacks. You cannot throw the seam late. So then we get the tee up, reset it to the seam as I'm throwing the seam. Boom, get hit by my new teammate,
Kyle Wilson,
K-Dub. Yeah, got hit by him. And, interception number 1 for you of your 6 on the season. So, and congrats on that too, bro.
Man, appreciate you. But, yeah, no, that play, like, it's crazy because you never, like – sometimes there's plays where you're like, oh, yeah, like, I feel like I can get an interception here, whatnot. But, like, that play specifically, like, in my head, I wasn't thinking, like, I'm going to get a pick. Probably no different than, like, in your head, you're like, I'm not going to throw a pick. Or, like, if it's a touchdown or anything like that. Yeah. But, yeah, for us, like, yeah, we were sending pressure. We were in that kind of, like, three high. I actually kind of started, like, to the field. Like, I don't know if you see this stuff, but, like, I'm trying to show it as, like, maybe, like, as a cover 2. Like, I'm starting over the hash, like, and then faded back to, like, the middle of the field, like, at the snap. Again, people forget, like, we also only have, like, one set of eyes, so, like, you can't see everything. I know that. So, like, I'm hoping in my head, like, the competition level of me is like, okay, I'm hoping, like, okay, you see me over the hash and you think, like, I'm playing cover 2 and the middle of the field's open, and then, like, at the snap, run to the middle of the field and just be in the right place. And, like, when I saw that ball, I was like, oh, man. Like, he's getting hit. He doesn't know that I'm over here. He thinks, like, probably, like, his dude's open. Like, yeah, like, can chalk it up to maybe a bad decision, but, like, the pressure got home. And then, like, catching the first one of the season, like, that's always nice to get the first one out of the way early because, like, I mean, a lot of DBs know, like, the longer you go without a pick, the more it sets in of, like, man, am I just not good? Or, like, am I never going to catch one?
I got to get one, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's that play. Man. And then we fast forward. I think it's a drive later, or 2 drives later, maybe. We're in like a Rob coverage, and I'll start this time. We're in like a Rob coverage. I'm in the middle of the field. Like, I don't think we're sending pressure, but I think y'all run like a clear out, and then I think was it Reggie that was coming through on like the cutter or something like that, or like the post route.
I think Philpott.
Philpott. Yeah, Philpott's running across. And yeah, it just happened to be like Johnny on the spot right there. I love that coverage. And I know, like, quarterbacks hate that one because, like, y'all don't really know, like, when we're going to rob. Like, you might have an idea of when we're going to rob, but sometimes we might just not rob, like, and you're just like,
exactly.
Why did he rob here? Why did he rob here? Like, why did he do this?
Yeah.
So I think that was a cool one. But then I come to find out after I get tackled that my D tackle, love this dude, Mario Kendricks Rio. The dude's a baller. He jumps off sides, and that might be the worst feeling that you get. But it's just like, all right, whatever. Like, we got to move on. Like, next play mindset. But man, that play was a pretty cool one. Like, a special one for me. Like, you love as a DB to be able to, like, drive on a play like that and, like, pick off those type of balls where it's like, yeah, tips and overthrows are awesome, but, like, when you could really, like, game something up and pick it, man. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, man. Bro. Heck of a play. Like the first one, I say, decision, whatever. That one was really bad because, like you said, y'all was in the robber coverage. But right. I knew, like I said, boom, we get your guy off sides. I'm trying to move the pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just forced that day, and you was just right there. Boom, you jumped it.
Did you know he jumped off sides? Like, did you see it?
Yeah.
I didn't know until after. Okay, so you knew.
Yep, I saw it. Yeah, exactly. So I should have probably tried to just go for the deep one regardless. So it wouldn't have mattered. But, man, but that's the thing about playing, like, quarterback and safety. Like, it's like we're playing chess. You know what I'm saying? And especially guys again, like you, who else is freaking Winnipeg safety, like just there's certain guys that you play chess with. And it's like, okay, I gotta be on myself because I know he gonna do this, but he might roll to this, and then, so it's just like the robber. I don't know what he's doing, but you gotta confirm the safety first. That's like your first thing you gotta do as a quarterback. Confirm where is he at? He cheated to the field. He into the boundary. Okay, boom. On the snap of the ball, now you got a pre-snap guess. Okay, he's here. Okay, maybe this. On the snap of the ball, that's when you confirm. Now, because you get the ball, now, oh, shoot, he didn't win this, but like you said, you try to start on the hash, and you win. So you got to confirm all that. Okay, he's not in cover 2, he's in the 3.
Yeah.
Things like that, So I love it, though, man. It's definitely a chess game out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you ended up technically getting me later. I got you. I barely got to you on the first safety blitz up the middle. Like that one was a tip ball, ended up being an interception. So like that's not really like I don't put that one on you. If I was on your team, I'd just be like, hey, they called a play and you know that pick with Mox. I know he said he didn't say anything on the sideline on the penalty, but I don't know. It looked like he was talking to Dickie, but
I love Mox was talking to Dickie.
Oh man, I love Mox, dude. But then I think it was the third quarter.
He's a baller.
We ran like a boundary pressure. And, like, I'm coming up right away, and you stepped up in the pocket and then just threw a bomb, like, down the field. And I'm like, bro, I had you in my hands, and then you stepped up. But that just shows, like, the versatility of, like, I mean, all the quarterbacks, right? Like, y'all are just able to move in different ways. Like, yeah, sometimes you don't always escape, but just, like, the playmaking ability right there. Like, what do you see on that type of play where, like, okay, yeah, coming in on a pressure, you step up, and then you just throw it deep, like see your guy down there?
Yeah, you know, hence the nickname, man. I've always, if I see that middle open and I can make a guy miss,
yeah,
and he not blocked, I know something good could happen. You know what I'm saying? And so, I just try to set you up in my drop and just get up underneath there as much as I could. And our post was running, and I felt like Peters, he might have. I think he thought the pressure was getting home or something. And
that one was on me.
Yeah, and then oh shit, he figured out, and Clark made a heck of a play.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was it's fun though, man, out there just seeing all of it unfold. It happened so quick though, man. It happened that you just got to make those decisions. I've been, you know, my game's huge on just not thinking and reacting. You know, just I gotta react. You know, I have my pre-snap guesses. Okay, this is where I'm going. Okay, but when it's not right, okay, you gotta react and make something happen. You know, so. Right.
Well, I mean, y'all ended up getting the victory on that one. That was a tough one for us. Like week one, like we're thinking. I mean, like everyone thinks, like you're gonna win the game. Like you come into someone's house, like you know, play spoiler. I mean, we're not really thinking. I think as much as Bo's 100th win. Like, yeah, you kind of want to get eventually he's gonna get it. Like we're not gonna lose every game. But I think more or less it was like, all right, we want to start fast, like compared to seasons previous. But man, that was a battle of a game, and y'all came out on top. And y'all got us twice this year. Like I'm gonna end up talking about this like a few episodes from now. So like, yeah, I may have gotten the one, maybe two picks. Like the second pick's gonna be on my highlight tape. You know, it's got to be. But then like. We fast forward all the way to the end of the season, and y'all got me a few times, and y'all end up coming out on top on that one. So like that just shows the balance of football, and you know, like no matter how good you are, like you can get got at the end of the day, right? Like,
and that's the chess part about it, because in that game y'all did do a little bit more robber, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, and I could be wrong, but you know, I'm sitting back there like, okay, he got me on a robber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, if we can do this,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we can play with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing about, you know, it's QBs and safeties, and then it's coordinators versus each other too. You know what I'm saying? OCs versus DCs. They sitting there. Okay, I know in second and long he like to do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, now he has to be like, he knows that I know that I like second and long this. So we need to. You know, so it's just
exactly.
It's crazy, man, but it's fun for sure.
Yeah.
And VA, obviously that was your first game in front of, well, not first game, but first game that counted at McMahon in front of, you know, the Calgary faithful, and just wanted to give you a moment to like, what did that feel like, and could you really feel because like I said, the energy around the team was completely different in 2025 than it was in 2024, and I can attest to that, having worked for the organization. So how good did it feel to kind of have that crowd behind you for a home opener, you know, Bo coming back to town, that sort of thing? Could you feel the energy? Could you feel that, you know, things were different at McMahon?
Yeah, man, it was rocking, because I know the year before when we played at McMahon and we went to I remember when I was, you know, 2016, 17, you know, those were those Calgary years, you know, and the stands used to be packed. Like I remember coming up, yeah, like it's rocking in here, and it was like a party every time. And then like the last couple of years, like 2024, I'm looking, and you're watching film. When you watch film, it goes to the scoreboard, and there's like nobody sitting there, and I'm like, where's everybody at? Like, you know.
I've seen that too.
And so, But towards the end, like towards this year, like you start seeing it as you're watching film. You're looking over there at the scoreboard, and it's fans appearing. It's like, okay, they coming back. Like, it felt good, man. These fans, I'm not all on the Facebook groups and looking through everything. You see stuff as an athlete, but like I felt like these fans showed me the most love. As in wherever I've been, like they seem really appreciative of me coming here and playing quarterback for their team. Like every time I see someone, man, we appreciate you, Vernon. Like, thank you. I just never really felt that like anywhere else, So it was cool, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean the Calgary fans are great, and I think it's one of those things where obviously success is a big part of it, but the personality is a part of it, and you kind of get out what you put in, and I like I said, I've seen you personally at 3 or 4 community events, and you see like Rhymes and Philpott and all these guys that are it's like they want to be in Calgary, and I think that's the most important part of it. You don't want guys who are there just to play football and then leave. Like a lot of guys on this roster, from what I've heard and what I've seen, Calgary's become kind of more of a home as opposed to just a place they play football, which I think is, and the community sees that. And then we mentioned kind of Moxie on the sideline. I was wondering if there were any standout trash talkers. Obviously it was a back and forth game. Hamilton, I'm sure, has some guys on the back end that have some pretty good trash talk. Was there anyone that stood out?
Yeah, for me, I don't really hear much out there. Like I'm like tuned in, you know what I'm saying? If it is trash talk, it's like good trash talk when it comes to me. On Hamilton's team, it was definitely Moxie though, like especially playing us. Like, I feel like everybody who leaves Calgary though, they got something against Calgary.
Oh, they got animosity, man.
Hey, I ain't saying they're right. I ain't saying they wrong. I ain't saying either or, but they always got something to say to Calgary. So it was probably Moxie for sure. Yeah.
I know my guy.
In the second game. Yeah.
I know my guy K-Dub. K-Dub will talk trash.
Oh yeah.
He will talk
so
trash.
That's crazy though. So look, let me tell you though, K-Dub in that first game, if we can go back and say him, he's on my team now, so that's why I didn't say it. But yeah, K-Dub definitely was out there talking crazy.
Yeah. And
he came on our team, and he out there making plays, do what he do, but he ain't really talking crazy. I said, hey, why are you not talking to them like you was talking to me? He said, no, I'm not saying nothing, but man, good, cool dude, man.
Yeah,
cool dude.
That's my dog. Well, before we kind of wrap it up, and let you get off to the rest of your day, your off season, just let us know, like, kind of what's your plans for the off season? Like, I know some guys set goals. Dudes have their training, their routines, all that. Like, what's this off season look like for you? Kind of going into 2026, and what are your plans for the new year?
Man, bro, I got a lot of big plans. I think I'm gonna pop out and show y'all in 2026.
Okay.
December 2026 though. But I live in Seattle, and I'll be training out there and come out to Montreal, back and forth Montreal to Seattle, and visiting family and stuff like that. But off the field stuff, got some big plans for myself and things, coming soon. Also, Gino Lewis and I, we want to start a podcast as well, so we don't need you on there. I told you about that.
I'll be there.
But nah podcast. You know what I'm saying? We gonna but nah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on. So I'll get you on there, and but that's it. But I had a question for you guys real quick before we get out of here. And before I say this question, I just gotta say this in case we put this on the podcast, like to all the Canadian fans and things like this. Y'all know I've been up here 10, 11 years. I love the CFL. I love this game. Do you guys feel like we still need the 7 Canadian ratio?
Oh.
And before y'all answer, I want to say this because the last 2 years, our best players in the league have been Canadian.
Yeah.
BC has 3 of the highest paid players, and they're Canadian. Top 10.
Right.
And they're Canadian. That are not quarterbacks, whatever, and one's a quarterback. So it's like, and if I'm being all honest, the Canadians are getting better. Since 2016, when I was in this league, you used to put the Canadian receiver at Z. And stay out there. That was it.
And the Canadian FL corner.
and that's it. And you hide them here, blah, 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 whatever. Now, y'all everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm respecting our Canadians, but Phil Pott, Moose, Clark Barnes.
Yep.
Those are some dudes.
Yep.
Everybody, y'all receiver 85.
Keandre,
yeah, Keandre, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all dudes. You know what I'm saying? So now back to my question: do y'all feel like we still need this 7 Canadian ratio, or can we take it down to 5?
All right. So you're on the side of subtracting it, and okay.
I'm not. I'm just wondering. This is my first time thinking about this the last 3 weeks, like last month. Yeah.
Like, here's like my thing on it, and I'll give you both sides. And I'll give you like how I feel about it. So I think the pros to having it there is, one, I think it helps to continue like you have to develop the Canadians that are coming in from like these U Sport universities, and then two, I know politics and like biases all too well. And mainly because I grew up in the U.S. and like I played high school football in the U.S. Like I know what like how coaches think for the most part. And then coming and playing in Canada at the U Sport level, and then coming to the CFL, like where most of your coaches are American. So like there is that, whether coaches want to say it or not, I think there is that bias where it's like, let's say it was 5. If it was 5 Canadians. Now, most of those coaches are like, all right, well, we don't really have to develop player Canadian A or B because, like, we can just play an American there. And, like, the talent pool from the U.S. is just so big that, like, most of those Canadian dudes, I think, will get just, like, overlooked because it's like, all right, would we rather take the time to develop a Canadian? Maybe it takes 1 or 2 years, or, like, go grab this dude from the SEC that just got cut from the NFL and just put him right there. And, like, to the same point, it's like, do we want to have the most competitive league, or do we want to – not saying that it's not competitive by having Canadians in there, but that gap is harder to close, I think. So that's the pro side. I think the con side, I guess. I think the pro side is just what I said. Like, I think the competitive level will just naturally have to rise because, like, if you're a Canadian and if we're on the side of, like, truly – coaches don't see the passport and they're just like, we want the best players, then naturally the best Canadian players will play, like, the Bradys, the McInneses, right? Like, but like same thing, like would McInnes have gotten the same shot if there wasn't 7 starters and there's only 5 and they just brought an American 6'7" receiver up here? Like that.
I guess just as like obviously I'm not in the day to day, but would it be naive to suggest that, let's say they do drop it down to 5, would talent not win out? Or I guess Stavros mentioned the inherent biases. Like, is there, because you do have those Canadian guys, like would McInnes, for example, do you believe that a guy that talented and has shown out at the pro level wouldn't have eventually become a starter just based on talent? Or is it really kind of that talent meets opportunity?
Man, see, and the way I look at it, because I remember when McInnes was on Saskatchewan, and like, This is nothing against him, but they weren't using him. So it's like,
using him. Yeah.
If he stayed there and there was no rate and there was a lower ratio, or even if you try to leave somewhere and the ratio is lower, like, he's not playing. Like, unless someone just totally believes that, like, he's the guy. But like, think if you're another organization, if you're like another organization and you're picking up a dude that doesn't have a whole lot of reps, like, he passes the eye test, but like, you're also putting, as a GM, you're putting your job on the line to say, hey, that guy can start here. And you have no idea if he can or not. Like, you haven't developed him yet. All you can do is call up the coach that's there, or call up the GMs that are there and be like, hey, is this guy a dude? And then now you're trying to rely on the word of another coach. But sometimes that stuff doesn't even happen because it's, it's such a quick business. So I am on the side. I think where it's at right now, I think it's healthy. And I think it'll only continue to build, like, the Canadian side. Like, I don't think it should change, personally, because of what I've seen. Like, same for myself. Like, as much as you can say, like, the cream rises to the top and all that sort of stuff, like, year 1 and year 2, I wasn't starting. I was behind another Canadian. If we get to even in year 1, just take a look at year 1. I wasn't the next man up. Like, if a dude goes down, right, we had 2 American DIs that year, like a corner and a half. And, like, I wasn't the next man up. Like, I was a rookie. But even when we got to, like, year 2, like, if another position got hurt that wasn't safety, like, I wasn't necessarily going in. So, like, Is that because I played up here in Canada and like coaches just don't think like I'm at that level to play yet? Maybe they're waiting for me to develop. But then like year 3, let's say the starting safety went down and we had the same person as me competing with me, like a DB, he was a DI, let's say, but he played at Alabama, or he played at USC, or he played at Oregon. You think the team's letting me go out there?
I mean, I think they're gonna let him go out first.
Exactly.
But then it's up to you to.
No, yeah, it's on me too. Yeah, that's like the other thing is like we can't play.
It's up to you to win the job, right?
Yeah.
We can't be like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But you know how practices are too. Practices for the most part, when you're playing scout team, you're getting told, "Hey, drive this route." Or at least I don't know how it is in other teams, but I feel like from what I've heard, when you're getting your reps during the season, because you don't get defensive reps during the season if you're not a starter, like just by nature of the rules of like the timing. So like if you're just playing scout team and specials, scout team you're getting told what to do for the most part, and most of the time they're like, all right, you don't go up for jump balls with Kenny Lawler, or you don't go up for jump balls with Tim White, like you don't do that, like so like the evaluation part I think is tough until you get out and actually get in the game. Like most of the time someone has to get hurt for you to get in. Like I don't know if it was like that for you, like when you were in Hamilton and then you went to Montreal, like someone I don't know, did someone get hurt and then you ended up going in?
Yeah.
So like
Antonio Pipkin,
yeah, like so if you don't get that chance, it's hard to say like, oh yeah, like if the ratio is lower, like yeah, that dude would be playing no matter what. But in the land of opportunity, it's like you have to have the op. And if you don't have the opportunity, I feel like lowering the ratio, I think it just handcuffs like the Canadian development.
Yeah. And I think too, and not just getting on GMs or whatever or staff, but like they have egos too. You know, a lot of them were former players or some of them not, but you know, they're human. They got egos too. So it's like, because like you said, Antonio Pipkin was starting in 2019 camp. I come in 4th on the depth chart. Pipkin starting, I end up being second string by the first game.
Yep.
But stat wise from camp, I should have been starting.
Yep.
But I tweeted out we had the worst GM in the history of sports on Twitter on the off season. Yeah. So that wasn't that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So I should have been in there, but then the GM had something against me. Boom. Knock on wood, Antonio Pipkin, he hurt his ankle. I went in, and then that was that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, kind of the rest was history. But then I want to go back to McKinnis too. Like we said, he left SAS, right? He left SAS. They weren't using him there, and he come to BC. He was supposed to start day 1, but we changed our ratio, so he was with Group 2. Yep. But like I said, if we take that ratio down, and what McKinnis was doing in Group 2. I already knew he was going to be starting and he was going to be a guy. Like, so, you know, it is opportunity, but at the same time, too, like, when I seen him in Group 2 doing what he was doing, I'm like, where did this guy come from? Like, I knew he was going to be a guy and ended up starting and 2-time All-Star now. And So, like I said, I'm not saying it. I was just, like I said, I saw the awards and I just been thinking, I'm like, damn, bro, like, Brady got it. Nate got it. Like, Betts highest paid, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, they're getting better, you know. So just want to throw it out there. I want to mix the CFL up, get everybody talking about it.
Yeah, I think
off-season buzz.
To your point, I think the better Canadians do in this league, and especially ones that played at the U Sport level and didn't play like NCAA Division I or D1AA, I think the better those guys do in this league, the more that stigma of like, U Sport guys, like they can't really play. I think that gets low. Like, look at Keandre Smith, played at Guelph for 4 years, like was probably one of those Canadian guys that like would have been overlooked, and then now you know he has a 1,000-yard season, right? So like same with both the Philpotts, right? Like look at both of them. Like if that ratio is lower, does like Tyson get the same look in Montreal? You know, like. And does he score the touchdown in the Grey Cup to win the game? Like I think I look at that part of it as well. Like a kid coming out from Calgary, receiver that ran 4.7 or something like that. Like they didn't run anything great. Like are they getting that same up? Like I think that's where I boil it down to at the end of the day. Why I think it shouldn't move. and should probably stay the same. But also, it's just like you don't want it to feel like dudes are getting like spoon fed the starting job either, right? Like you feel like you should compete for it. But I think that's what makes the league so great is like the diversity of like the 20 or so Americans you have on the roster, the 20 or so Canadians, you know, the two or the three quarterbacks that obviously don't account for that, and then like within that the 4 DI Americans that, you know, are just playing special teams and trying to earn their way to eventually become a starter. It's like the dynamics and all that, and I think the respect in the game from like obviously players and how we feel about our, you know, the guys in the locker room or guys in other locker rooms, I think just goes to tell you that, you know, like that we got a lot of respect for each other, I think, in the CFL game, because like you really got to love football to play up here, because it's really hard to get a spot on the roster, let alone like just get on the field on offense or defense. So, but yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to come on y'all's podcast once it launches. I think we'll have a fun time. But best of luck to you in the, you know, in your off season. You know, hoping you kill it. Obviously, just not against us when we play you. And I know you're thinking the same. But as always, man, it's great to see you make plays out there and do your thing and just keep proving the doubters wrong.
Yes, sir, brother. I think schedule come out tomorrow. So
okay.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll check it out. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys having me. This was great, man. Appreciate it. I was bored, so thank you.
Awesome. No worries. See you, VA. Best of luck, brother.
Thanks, VA.
All right, boys. Take care.
Man, that was a really good time with VA, man. Like that dude's a baller. I mean, not only that, he's just a good dude. But moving on from that, obviously week 1 in Calgary, we move on to week 2 in the prairies. We're keeping the cowboy hats on because we're in the prairies. Land of what do they call? Isn't Saskatchewan called like land of the ever living skies or something like that? I don't know. I may be totally wrong, but
that's not an accurate representation of Saskatchewan, I don't think.
Probably not. And they're probably gonna get mad at me. But hey, I'm not from Saskatchewan.
The comments are coming. I'm teeing them up.
Yeah. Just tee me up. But anyway, we'll get into, and we're not even going out to the prairies. They're coming to us. But needless to say, we'll keep the cowboy hats on for the theatrics. But yeah, week 2, man. We're 0-1 at this point. You know, the thing set in of like, man, the slow starts, like that's every single media question you get asked right off the bat, like day 1 when you get back from that game. It's like, oh, are we having another slow start in Hamilton? Like, haha. But like that's what you have to live with when you lose. So, I mean, you can't be picky, because when you win, they obviously give you all the praise. So you can't ask for one and not be able to battle the other one. So week 2, you know, we're getting our practice in. We're working hard. We know it's the home opener. Not only is it the home opener, but we're retiring a great Garnie Henley, number 26, Ticat legend, Ticat leader in interceptions, I believe, with 59, a record that I'm currently chasing.
You got a couple years to go before you're at 59.
Yeah. I'm not gonna pretend that I haven't done the math on it, but it's possible. It's possible I can reach it. And I actually, you know, getting into that, he came out and he talked to us at our I think our day 3 practice or something like that. And to be in the presence of like a great like that, like I know not many people probably know, but at least historically, like Garnie Henley was like, he played in the CFL for 15 years, played defensive back, also played receiver towards the end of his career, like scored touchdowns, obviously Grey Cup champion, like you throw all that in there, but just like what he was able to do like back then. I think he was a teacher too, like part-time, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's insane. Like when you look back on, you know, a career like that and what he was able to do, like 15 seasons is insane as a DB. And back then, like we're talking like not as modern medicine, probably not as modern like treatment and therapy. Like he probably walks in our stadium and he's probably like, man, these guys got it so good. Like our locker room was probably in like a janitor closet or something like that. Like, and this is not taking a shot at the old Ivor win, but I'm just saying like that's probably what's going through his mindset. Like the hot tubs, the saunas, the big giant weight room. Like, so it's just, you know, it just brings that respect level to see him in that end. And like being able to meet him, you know, just kind of hear what he had to say. Like one of the things that stuck out to me was like, at the end of the day, just do your job. Like, don't worry about anyone else. And like, that couldn't be a truer statement in pro football. Is like, sometimes you try to do too much and that gets you into trouble. It's happened to me a lot in my career, but I always try to fall back on like the do your job part. Cause there's again, it's not a individual sport. It's a team sport. So like if everyone does do their job, like more often than not, you're going to have success. So yeah, I ran into him again in the Ticat store after, like just talked to him a little bit. And heard his story and all that. And for a guy, I think he's in his 80s. Like, he did not look like he's 80 years old. Like, he looks a lot younger. Like, I know he's had plenty of surgeries, knees, shoulders, elbows, all that. But man, what a guy to really meet.
Speaks
and shake
to
his
the
hand.
longevity that if he can play that long, he's probably going to age pretty well.
Yeah, right. Like, if I could, I'm at 5. I'm at a third of his career right now. I just finished a third of his career. So like, if I want to get to where he's gotten, Hall of Fame, retired jersey someday, like, we got 10 more seasons to go, and it's very doable. Like, I've done the research. Again, I say very doable in the sense of like, okay, yeah, another 10 years will put me probably, or 10 seasons per se, will probably put me at like 37, 38. Like, Rob Hitchcock, another guy who played, a lot of seasons. I think it was like 13. Like, played till he was about like 37. Like, Orlando Steinauer played till he was about 37. Baron Miles, I think, was like 38. Like, all these legends. So like, it's possible. Obviously, a lot of stuff has to go right. You got to stay healthy is the biggest thing. But yeah, that's my tangent on that end. But priming that up, it's Saskatchewan. It's they're at this point, I wouldn't say they're like a Grey Cup favorite. Maybe they were like in the media. I don't know if
I think
you
it was
remember
them
that at
and
all.
Montreal were the two kind of
Okay.
heavyweights coming into the season.
And that's fair. Like, they have, a pretty consistent team put together. I think they lost in the West Final the year previous. So yeah, coming off a decent season. And they put together a pretty good football team. So yeah, they roll in week 2. Trevor Harris and the gang. And yeah, in our heads again, it's like we're preparing to win. Like, we know we can beat them. Like, we have the tools, we have all that. I think like the first or second drive, like, we got a pick on defense. Like, crazy play. I think it was like a 2nd and 1, and like, that's a big thing in at least the defensive terms. Is like, if it's 2nd and 1, we call them waste downs. So like, basically, like, teams can just throw like a go ball or something like that, or like take a shot, because if it is incomplete, then it's 3rd and 1. Everyone goes for it on 3rd and 1. So it's really like, it's a free down essentially. So
And they had just signed Tommy Stevens, who is pretty good at those 2nd and 3rd and 1s.
But yeah, that. But like, the fact of the matter was, on that 2nd and 1, they kept Trevor Harrison. So like, you do your film study, like you can kind of understand what's going on. And I want to say they ran like a play action, like more, not play action, but like a flash fake, which like, all right, hand the ball off to AJ, and then Trevor starts to roll out, and like, we're basically, I think in that one we're in like a cover 1 or something, like man coverage. Moxie's ISO'd on Sam Amulis out there. I think I'm on like the boundary hash, which was a long way to go, but like, I kind of saw it like right away, saw the flash fake, saw him start to roll out. Like, I had seen the play on film before. And I was like, all right, just go over there. Like, I didn't know that he ran like a double move or anything like that. But all of a sudden, like, he's starting to throw the ball. I don't even think actually I looked over there. Like, I think I was on the quarterback the whole time rolling with him. I tracked the ball all the way over there, and I actually went to go like pick it off. People probably thought like I was going to like lay out Sam Amulis, but I was going like to pick the ball off, and like ended up just crashing into him. The ball somehow flails up in the air. Jonathan Moxie, my guy who I love, obviously bid on the double move, so like, he wasn't even there. But like, shows you, if you run to the football and you just don't give up, like, get around the ball, get
your
things
job.
happen. Exactly. So like, he sprints over there, the ball gets batted up right in front of him, pick. That was my second in a row week of helping Moxie get a pick. Obviously he's a playmaker, he doesn't need my help, but like, when teammates work together, like back to week 1 in Calgary, I go on a blitz, alter the throw, a VA, the ball gets kind of tipped up, Mox gets a pick. So like, honestly, like, we were talking about that in the week. It's like, hey man, help me get another pick. Like let's keep working, let's keep grinding. So like, it's always fun, like, just to see your teammates have success around you. So like, that off the bat, like, we're thinking, oh man, we picked him off. Like, we're good. Like, we're thinking we're all hot stuff. Like, and then the ebbs and flows of the game. I think literally 2nd quarter, AJ Ouellette takes it for 40 or 30 or 40 yards on a run. Like, they block us up. Like, we miss some tackles, and it shows you not the difference, but just like, they can make plays too, right? And that ended up being the Grey Cup team. So yeah, that's the first half. in my eyes. Anything you saw that game, Luca, like in that first half that stood out to you?
Nothing off the top of my head, but I'm more just curious. Like, obviously, like we mentioned, it was kind of them in Montreal who were the Grey Cup favorites. I don't know what the specific numbers were, but they were kind of viewed. Them and Winnipeg were viewed as the cream of the crop in the West. Montreal in the East. Obviously, this is going back like 8 months, so a bunch of stuff changed. But this is the second week in a row that you guys are playing a team that had some pretty significant changes. I know they brought in Tommy Stevens, obviously Tavon Campbell came back, Mike Rose on the D line. How does that not only change, like, do you kind of just have to throw out the film from the year before when a team has that significant change? And how does it, like, how did you guys feel going into it now that it's, okay, we're 0-1, it's an 18-week season? Are you feeling that pressure yet? Or is it more so just, let's play our game? Calgary game was kind of choppy. Get back to it, home opener. Let's just get back on track, not really worry about being 0-2.
Yeah, I think like from the film standpoint, like usually you get 4-game breakdown. So those first like 2 to 3 games are kind of tough because like you have a split of like preseason games in there, which not everyone's playing. So you're just trying to get like their scheme down. So yeah, we're definitely not really being able to look at stuff from the previous season. Like that one, we had their week 1 game and I think their 2 preseason games, which obviously most of their guys didn't play both of them, or if anything, like played like a quarter in one of them.
Yeah.
So like there's that aspect that comes in, but that's the same for them when they're looking at us. There's not a whole lot of tape for them to watch. So I think it is more of like a physical battle in those first 2 games of like kind of who wants it more, which it comes down to in the playoffs like that too. Like it's almost kind of like a mirror. But there's definitely that. Obviously they have a pretty good team. Like we're not really thinking about the 0-1 as much. Like you try to like flush losses as quickly as possible. Like after they happen, like, yeah, you break down the film, fix what needs to be fixed, and then like, all right, we're on to the next week because you got to get going. But we also do realize like, yeah, it's a long season. So like, even if you do drop a game, like teams have come in to the halfway point of the season, like, with 2 or 3 wins and then make the playoffs, let alone sometimes win the Grey Cup. Like I think the Toronto, I think 2010 team or something like that was like 9-9 and won the Grey Cup or something like that. And other teams have done that too. So it's just, you're never out of it in this game. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing in that first half was just like, all right, like we got to start fast. Like we can't start slow, set the tone early. And then we get in the second half, like, again, it's going back and forth. I think even in the fourth quarter, like it's a 1-possession game. And they're kind of driving on us. They get my guy, Destin Talbert, ISO'd, one-on-one, in-man coverage, like shot to the red zone. He makes a great like pass breakup on it. And I'm running over there, trying to do my best Jonathan Moxley impression. Running over there, get over, the ball gets tipped up. I like get a hand on it, but like I'm having to like jump over the receiver, like to like contort my body to be able to reach for it. But I'm trying to like bring it back to myself. Very similar to the Ontario Wilson catch versus Edmonton where he batted it up to himself, but like he pulled it back in. I was trying to do the same thing, but whatever way the ball was angled, like I got my hand on it, tried to bring it back, but it bounced the other way and just barely escaped the clutches of my hands. Slammed my knee on the ground. That really hurt. I think I was like limping back. It was first down, limping back to get ready for second down. It's 2nd and 10. The fans are screaming. It's going crazy. They're in like a 23 with 3 receivers to the boundary. I know the exact play that they're running. Like we're in the exact coverage that's dialed up for me to get a pick. Number 3 runs like we call it like a poison route or like a stick nod where he basically runs like fakes like he's going out and then breaks it back in. I read it like a book. I'm like driving to it. It's Mitch Picton, who I had some great battles with back in the U Sport days. And like I see the ball. I'm like, oh, I'm picking this ball off. I like go to grab it. He does a great job of coming back to the ball. And like we both kind of hit each other. He kind of hits my arm. The ball bounces off my helmet. I'm like falling forward because of the way, like I was in the air. He hit me. I'm falling forward. I'm like, I can see it. I'm like, oh, I almost got it. And then just it runs away from me. It's just like, it's not meant to be. So it's like back-to-back plays. Obviously we got off the field. They got a field goal. I think going down the stretch, like we had a chance. Offense was driving the field, like last second drive, like we've seen so many times this past season. And it just didn't work out for us. Unfortunately, we ended up losing that game. I think it was it 29-23 at the end of it, something like that.
So.
It's been a long time now, but Yeah, that was a tough one. And then it's like 0-2, we lose at home. It's the jersey retirement day. It's like, man, we really let our fans down, and we're 0-2 again. Like, now week 3 is not going to be fun when it comes to the media, asking all the questions like, oh, another slow start. You lied to us in training camp when you said you're not going to start slow. It's like, I know, but like, I didn't believe that was going to happen. Like, obviously you never believe you're going to start the season's off with a loss, but yeah, we're battling. And I think that's probably where it caps off for us for this episode, right? Like, we're in the dumps. We're down in the dumps. We're 0-2. We're at the bottom. But I think, thankfully for us, I think at that time, the East, like, everyone was either 0-2 or 1-2 or something along. Like, we were only one game out of first. So it's not like it was anything crazy. But, yeah, not where you wanted to start the season. But next episode, what do we got for him, Luca? Tell him.
Next episode, I think there was a 6-game stretch where you guys might have played a little bit better, gotten the bounces your way. Maybe instead of the ball bouncing one way, it bounced into your chest, and yeah, we'll chat with some people that Hamilton will be very familiar with, I'm sure.
Yeah, they will, and it'll be a fun 6-game heater. 6 games in a row. I don't know if I've ever won 6 games in a row in my life. I'll have to go back on that. Maybe in high school. But actually, maybe at UBC when we won the national championship, I think we rattled off probably 7 in a row. 6
and you just got to be feeling great at that point.
Yeah, that's the ultimate thing. Get hot right before the playoffs. But yeah, with that being said, appreciate y'all for checking out the episode. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, follow along the journey. We got a lot of great stuff coming this offseason. We'll see y'all in the next episode.